German Fuhrer Adolph Hitler insisted that the 14th Army should continue to attack at Anzio, despite the misgivings of both German Supreme Commander in Italy, Fieldmarshal Albert Kesselring, and Commander of German forces around the bridgehead, General Eberhard von Mackensen. For the new assault, German formations under the command of 76 Panzer Corps were assembled. They comprised the 114th Light Division, reinforced by 1028 Panzer Grenadier Regiment, the 362nd Infantry Division, the 26th Panzer Division, and the Hermann Goering Panzer Division around Cisterna. Units under the command of 715 Infantry Division were also located at the eastern end of the front. The 4th Parachute Division was on the Moletta River to the west. The divisions were under strength, and there was no great disparity in numbers between the opposing Allied and German forces. The initial German objective was to penetrate the outer beachhead defense positions from Carano to Isola Bella and push toward the west branch of the Mussolini Canal on the final Allied beachhead defensive line. If that attack was successful, the reserve 29th Panzer Grenadier Division was to join the assault either on the west flank along Spaccasazi Creek or in an attack against the 3rd Division's right flank to be launched from east of the main Mussolini Canal. America's 3rd Division held a line from a mile west of Carano to the junction of the west branch with the main Mussolini Canal. The outer defence line was held in order from west to east by 509 Parachute Infantry Battalion, with the attached 3rd Battalion of the 30th Infantry on the forward line on either side of Carano. The 7th Infantry between Formal del Bove Creek to Ponte Rotto, the 15th Infantry from Ponte Rotto through Isola to a position west of Cisterna Creek, and 504 Parachute Infantry with the 4th Ranger Battalion on the left. On the afternoon of the 28th of February, a smoke screen was laid on the front of the 3rd Division to conceal last-minute German troop movements. After midnight, artillery fire shifted from the British front to the 3rd Division sector, paying special attention to the village of Carano. At 4:30 on the morning of the 29th of February, Allied artillery responded to the German fire with an hour-long counter-preparation. At dawn, German attacks began at half a dozen points along the front. 509 Parachute Battalion was driven back 700 yards to its main line of resistance, but attacks on the flanks of the salient failed. West of Carano, the 2nd Battalion of 1028 Panzer Grenadier Regiment was repulsed. East of Carano, 362 Infantry Division tried unsuccessfully to expand the salient, directing their attacks against the 2nd Battalion of the 7th Infantry. Attacks on the west flank of the 3rd Division front had begun at daylight, but the Germans were unable to exploit their penetration. Further east, the 362nd attempted to penetrate between the positions of the 2nd and 3rd Battalions of the 7th Infantry, but were contained. 26 Panzer Division's tanks attacked the 3rd Battalion's right flank west of Ponte Rotto and drove the Americans back. The Hermann Goering Panzer Division infiltrated to the east of Isola Bella and was well within the outer beachhead defence line by daybreak, but they were trapped and neutralised. The principal threat came from German tanks operating down the roads from Cisterna and Ponte Rotto. 601 Tank Destroyer Battalion knocked out at least 7 and damaged 9 others. Diversionary attacks were launched against the right flank of the 3rd Division near the Mussolini Canal. In the 504 Parachute sector, an attack at dawn to capture a bridge across Cisterna Creek was broken up by the 4th Ranger Battalion. An attempt was made to gain a bridgehead across the Mussolini Canal south of the village of Borgo Sabatino, but was ambushed. At the end of the 29th of February, the Germans had hardly dented the 3rd Division's outer line of defence. Attacks on a wide front with units of company and battalion size had broken down against the well-organised 3rd Division positions. Tanks were hampered by minefields and thick mud, which made it almost impossible to operate off the roads. In the course of the day, 21 German tanks were reported destroyed. Initially hindered by bad weather, the Allied Air Force played a pivotal role from mid-afternoon. That evening, the 30th Infantry Regiment and 509 Parachute Infantry Battalion launched a counterattack to gain the lost ground. Sixth Corps Commander General Truscott sent an additional company of tank destroyers and the 3rd Battalion of the 1st Armoured Regiment to the 3rd Division's defensive line, and all roads leading into the beachhead were cratered and new minefields laid. German attacks on the 1st of March closely followed the pattern of the previous day, but on a smaller scale. The 2nd Battalion of the 30th Infantry started to attack on the afternoon of the 29th of February to reach the former outposts of 509 Parachute Infantry by 8:30 the next morning. German counterattacks were bounded by 18 battalions of artillery, and they all broke down. By dawn on the 2nd of March, 30th Infantry had relieved all elements of 509 Parachute Infantry, which then passed into Divisional Reserve, and German gains on the 3rd Division left flank were also erased. The principal action on the 1st of March had centred on the captured bridge southwest of Ponte Rotto. The steady rain which kept Allied planes on the ground also hampered the movement of German armour that day. Attacks against the 7th Infantry and the 15th Infantry near Isola Bella failed, and clear weather on the 2nd of March permitted the Mediterranean Allied Air Force to carry out extensive air operations. West of the Albano Road, infiltration of the front of the 1st and 56th Divisions and one tank and infantry attack down the road to Isola Bella were beaten off. At dawn on the 3rd of March, the attack on the 3rd Battalion of the 7th Infantry southwest of Ponte Rotto resumed. Tanks and armoured infantry of 26th Panzer Division broke through the positions astride the road, but the battalion held, and that afternoon, 3rd Division switched to the offensive. And at Isola Bella, 15th Infantry regained the ground it had lost on the 29th of February. The counterattacks launched by the 3rd Division on the 3rd of March marked the end of the Germans' third and final major assault against the Anzio beachhead. In 5 days of fighting, they suffered more than 3,500 battle casualties, and at least 30 of their tanks were destroyed. The 14th Army, for the time being, was incapable of further large-scale offensive action. The situation in the British sector of the beachhead improved. 9 and 40 Royal Marine Commandos with a total strength of 660 men arrived on the 2nd of March and were employed in raids along the front west of the Albano Road. And Britain's 5th Division moved to the beachhead during the second week of March to relieve the weakened 56th Division. Field Marshal Kesselring sent a message to General Mackensen at 6:40 on the evening of the 1st of March, ordering the end of the assault against the 3rd Division and that offensive operations should be limited to local counterattacks only. A German High Command conference on the 3rd of March decided to abandon for the time being all plans for further major offensive operations on the Anzio front, and on the 4th of March, Germany's 14th Army issued an order to its units instructing them to hold their present positions and to develop them defensively as quickly as possible.